Fluffy. Hey guys, welcome to Paintapalooza. Sometimes we go live and we just paint random thrifted items that have sold or that we need to sell in the shop. And we have a lot of projects to work on. So we're like, hey, let's turn the camera on and hang out with our friends.
Yeah, I'm excited because these were projects we were going to be doing anyway, and it's more fun to hang out with you guys.
If you guys want to shop along, you can visit JamieRayVintage.com for our thrift finds, thrift flips, and all the paint and products you see us use. This we need to wait on because we need to see what Corrina wants to do. Our friend Corrina bought this and Zeb broke it. And so she didn't want us to paint it, but now we're
I turned around and elbowed it right off the top of the island.
So maybe Corrina is on Corrina. Zeb, would you show her what you did?
Look, I broke it.
Show her what you did.
Snapped the top off in a couple places. It needs painted.
And so we were thinking about doing a salt wash layer. It's been repaired and then do something over it. We kind of know the colors that Corrina likes, but we want your opinion. Or we can just refund you and then sell it to somebody else. So
it's sturdy. Oh, no. It's plenty sturdy. Like I glued it. See?
I was like, what do I do? So Caitlin was going to message you. I don't know if she did or not. So I'm glad that you're on because you can tell us if you just want us to refund you or you want to let us paint it. And we'll see what we do. I'm going to get out.
That's always the test when I hot glue something that I've broken to see if it's worth even reselling or super glue. To see if it's worth reselling or just junking is I will, once it's glued up, I hold it out to the side from the glued point and see if it breaks again. And if it doesn't, then I call it good and we repaint.
All right. Lori says, I'm in the middle of grocery shopping. Don't worry. We're going to be on for a minute.
Yeah, we might be on for a while.
Corrina says she wants it to our magic. Okay. I have a plan. I kind of want to make it look similar to your horse. I actually even picked up Apothecary and I have some crinoline and we'll make it good. And then if you still don't like it when we're done with it for any reason, we'll refund you and sell it. But occasionally Zeb and I do break things. And it happens.
Yeah, we were putting it up Saturday after the thrift haul.
Zeb was really tired. In his defense, he was like, can we just go to bed? I was like, no, let's get the stuff put up. And he totally just ran into it. And it's just like, one of those slow-mo, no!
It was on the edge of the counter and I spun around and elbowed it.
I think it was on the floor.
No, it was on the counter. It fell all the way off the island.
Zeb is a pro about gluing stuff back together. What kind of glue should I use for my ceramic piggy bank? Super glue.
I used to have I can't even remember the name of it that I used to get, but it's gone. I can't find it. So I've been using Type Bond super glue.
Gorilla Glue, super glue.
I like the gel version, depending on how broken it is. If it's
because it's thicker.
Yeah, because it'll bond better and adhere better. But if you can get like surface on surface and match it up perfectly, the liquid is, I feel like that.
Yeah, if there's more of a gap, then I feel like gel, right? You got to fill the gap with something because if you just put super glue on a gap and something that's broken, it's just going to keep running out and there'll never be any contact there. So that you got to have both kinds. I agree. We all need a Zeb. Zeb is pretty handy to have around. So I have.
Some days it's been hot and I've been grumpy about it. So
he was a little saucy on the track.
Watch yourself in the summer.
He's really good on camera, but I'm not gonna lie, he can get saucy off camber. But the good news is
let's just say I had some opinions this morning that I was dead set on being right about,
and I wasn't agreeing.
And Jamie was also, pretty dug in. the whole gym knows our business now.
What did I tell you this morning? Or we were talking about it and he's like, it's because I knew I was right.
Oh, we were talking about the debate this morning was about saying yes or no to various things to the kids, especially during the summer. And I'm like, well, if you don't want them to bug you all the time, tell them no more. Which is not wrong because they go to her because I tell them no a lot.
And sometimes when they come to me, I say, go to your dad. The whole preface was I say, go to your dad because sometimes I will say yes to things and he will, I know you guys are going to be shocked to hear this, but he will get mad at me and say, why did you tell them yes? So rather than him being upset, I just say, go ask your dad. And then whatever he says, he'll be happy with, right? Because he's the one that said it. And he told me, well, that's not the case. And so we were going back and forth anyways. We were also both a little hungry so that we did. We took care of that. I do think we're going to need some Mexican food at some point today.
That is a good option. We have a video that we're
part of the
on.
way through.
We're hanging the antique sign up at the shop. I figured out how I want to do it. I'm just going to go get some galvanized posts to match kind of like what we have in the tent, and I will strap the back of that sign. That way, minimal damage to that antiques sign. It's old in itself. And then I can just run 2 posts in the ground without having to do a bunch of concrete and worry about getting pressure treated and supporting that and having it blow over in the wind and being like this big, huge production that we can never move easily.
We don't need a production. We got enough production going on in our life. So that's what we're going to do this afternoon is we're going to eat and we're going to finish that project, and we'll have our video up tomorrow. It'll probably be scheduled for 4 o'clock.
No, today's Tuesday, so it'll be up.
Oh,
Thursday.
sorry, not tomorrow, Thursday. Sorry, we're ahead. We already are working on Thursday's video. We've got some stuff
Don't
going
be
on.
promising people an edited video tomorrow afternoon.
It feels like Waste Not Wednesday, even though it's not. If you're just tuning in, this is a thrifted mirror. It was $2. One of them sold, one of them hasn't. It's already got a red base coat that I don't love. And so I'm covering it with Golden Ticket, which is a patina. It's probably going to take me 2 coats to get full coverage, and then I'll dark wax it. And then these will be done, and then I'm going to work on another mirror.
Anyway,
do we ever rest? Yes, we slept last night.
So all of that story to say, we got back home and it's a couple hours later, and Jack had asked to go play with a friend, and we're both like, yeah, just they can't come over here. We're going to be live and doing stuff and filming other videos. Him no. And Jamie's like, see, I don't always say yes or no. And I'm like, but you know I'm right?
Anyways. We usually are on the same page, but sometimes Zeb is like,
I'm the oldest of 6 kids. Like I got opinions.
He likes to be in charge. He likes to supervise, and I'm a baby, and like I'm the baby of the family, but I was raised more like an only child. So I don't always take being told what to do. My most common phrase is, what do I usually tell you? You're not the boss of me.
I'm not the boss of you.
You're not the boss of me. And sometimes he's
and my favorite response back is, sure I am.
Sometimes he then realizes, oh yeah, I'm being a little bossy. And then sometimes I give in. It's like a give and take situation. But, it's fine. We worked it out. Everybody's alive and happy. Odelia took the older kids to Target. Redrick earned $50 cutting down trees at the property. We actually just listed our 5 acres that we have in Fairview. This is not the 40 acres that we go use as a family.
Don't short us that third 5 and a
so
third. So
5 and a third acres. Just got that listed this morning with our real estate agent. And Redrick was out there last weekend, and he earned $50 cutting down 100 trees with a chainsaw. And the girls have money because they've worked at the shop. So everybody's at Target. Father's Day is coming. I think they're prepping.
I don't think they are. I already told them I just need a nap.
Cook you food.
At some point, a nap is all I want.
Looks like our chickens have upped the egg production. Yeah, they're doing pretty good.
Yeah, there's eggs there. There's eggs in there. We're giving eggs to the neighbors.
Have you ever had a day where you just did nothing?
No, I don't think so. We haven't even left town since we got back from England. Which means if we're home, we work like pretty consistently.
Well, we don't work on Sundays, but
Monday
we still go
through
to church.
Saturday.
We go to church, and we do have things that we volunteer. Like I'm in charge of the music for little kids, so it's the Jamie Ray show.
I'm going on a hike with the 16 to 18-year-old youth tonight.
But on Sundays, sometimes Zeb teaches. But outside of what we help out with the church, Sundays we don't really do anything. Yeah. I mean, we have to obviously keep the humans alive here, but we don't work on Sunday.
Yeah, about 6 days a week we're pretty much working, which we like it.
Oh, I was like, was that already purple? You painted that plum pudding on those handles. So these particular rolling pins, we are not painting the middles. We're just painting the handles and oiling the middles so they're still usable.
I decided we always do like blues and greens, and I really like the purple and red, the plum pudding and the red.
That's a good one.
On the handles, so.
It's a good one. All right, I'm going to go apothecary on this mirror. And then since you broke it, you need to get the base coat on Corrina's finial.
Okay.
I was thinking apothecary with salt wash, but whatever. And then like a whitewash and some gold on there. Because I know what our house looks like. So I was thinking That would look.
Yeah, she sent us some fun pictures of all her stuff staged up that
So
she's got
cute.
from us.
She has full custody of my carousel horse now, and so she sends me pictures to show me updates of how cute it is.
She's like, don't you miss it?
I would if it wasn't in such a cute home, so it's okay with me. How far is Fairview from here? About $1.
An hour and 15
An hour
minutes
and 15
to the property.
I was saying that Sherry said 50 cents a tree. Yes, that paid him 50 cents a tree. Yeah, an hour and 15.
Eliza just found that out before they went to Target, and she's like, if I'd have known, I'd have come cut a couple hundred trees down. And I was like, I told everybody, and Redrick came.
Yeah, Redrick needed some one-on-one time with his dad. He wasn't in trouble per se, but sometimes when kids have attitudes, especially as teenagers, they just need one-on-one time with a parent, doing something physical and productive. And when you do a project with somebody, I feel like...
And even if they're in a little bit of trouble, I always pay them, because then it's just miserable and they get something out of it and they're more amenable to come the next time and fight me less.
Yeah. And it's always good to do a project with your kids. It always has to be age appropriate. Redrick's almost 13, so he's more than capable of operating a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Jack, I would not give him a chainsaw.
No.
Plus, Redrick is also big. Like, even though Redrick and Jack are only 3 years apart, Redrick is literally twice
Well, he's
Jack's
almost
size.
13. He'll be 13 in like a month and a half.
Redrick is taller than me and outweighs me by...
Like, your kid's about, the kid's about to blow up. He's going to do all his growing in the next couple of years, and then he'll be probably done, because that's what I did. And Harrington was pretty much the same. He didn't really grow much past like 14, 15 years old.
I also think it's really good for our kids to help us with our entrepreneurial endeavors, because it also teaches them what they can do when they're adults to raise extra money. Even if they're not necessarily self-employed, it's always good to have some sort of side hustle where you can earn extra money to get prepared for your future.
Well,
and give them confidence that this is actually doable. A lot of people are like, oh, I could never do that. You don't know until you try.
Well, my parents were, I mean, I have 5 siblings, right? Like, I don't remember us ever being like broke per se. I think most parents are pretty good about like not telling their kids about how
our
broke
kids
they
never
actually
knew, but we
are.
definitely have been
And so, you
broke
know,
in the past.
if we needed extra money, my dad would literally take us. He got himself a cut permit, and he would literally take me and my brother, Ty, that's just younger than me, and we would go out and we would chop cords and cords and cords of juniper wood out of the national forest, because you could get a permit to cut the dead trees down, and that's what we were doing. And and that's how I made money in the summer. I was like 11 years old doing that, and Ty was 9.
Well, it's funny because there's a little boy down the street who really wants an Oculus. It's a
VR headset.
VR headset. Our kids actually
Virtual
already
reality is.
Our kids
VR
already have
for.
2. We bought them a few years ago because we weren't going on vacation,
It
so we
was-
had like a staycation.
It was COVID Christmas, and we were finishing the house.
No, it was fall break.
Are you sure?
We'd already moved in. It's been since we moved
In the fall, and
But
we were like,
anyway.
we're not going anywhere, kids. We got to finish the house.
Yeah, we were doing something. We were already living here, but for whatever reason, we couldn't travel, so we bought them. But anyways, all their friends come over and want them, and so Jack's little friend, oh shoot, I was gonna change my outfit. Oh well. Jack's little friend really wanted one, so Jack's like, let's do a lemonade stand, and I'm like, absolutely not. I did not want to monitor that. But somehow they convinced that friend's mom.
She said no. She did real good.
No, I will help you do a lot of things to make money, but I think lemonade stands are a mess. They cost the mom money and they take hours of my time, and we're busy working. So I said, no, but here's some country time. So they got the mom down the street of the little boy to let them do a lemonade stand, and they made like $20 or $25 or something.
In like half an hour.
in a limited amount of time.
We had to keep an eye on Jack, though, because as soon as people stopped stopping by
They
their
were going
lemonade
door to
stand,
door with samples.
Jack was suddenly a door-to-door salesman.
And now, granted, we know every single neighbor on the street. They're friends of ours. We go to church. I mean, it's not like they're strangers, right? Buddy, I was like, buddy, I saw him going across the street, and I was like, nope, that's not happening. Don't you be peddling your lemonade to the neighbors like that. So, and he wasn't even doing it for money, because Jack's like, I already have an Oculus. He was just there to help his friend being an entrepreneur. But the unfortunate thing is they did make quite a bit of money. And I'm like, just so you know, this is not going to be an all summer thing where you're just peddling lemonade and Otter Pops to the neighbors.
Next thing, he's going to want me to get him a shave ice stand.
Yeah. Well, I actually was thinking Otter Pops at the park, if they wanted to do that, would be pretty advantageous, because you can get like 100 Otter Pops for $6, and you could sell them for like 50 cents a piece, and they could make money on that. And they don't have to mix anything up. I'm like, what can you sell that won't like make a big mess in my kitchen. Sticky. Lemonade is sticky.
Okay, so I used the last, if you're watching, I used the last sample. Excuse me, I'm gonna need to go to get a drink. I used the last of this sample, is probably about a third of the way full of, this is DIY, the clay-based formula in White Swan. If you want like a good plastery finish, mix the DIY paint with the salt wash and it does amazing things and it adheres rock hard to just about everything.
So Zeb, Ivy says that her kids sell golf balls because they live on a golf course and water, and they make good money. Here's the thing about Ivy's kids. I mean, Hal and Paisley, I almost called her Peyton. Hal and Paisley could sell just about anything. They're so adorable.
Well, Paisley wants to work at the shop.
Yeah, she wants to, like she's already put in her resume for when she's old enough to work at the shop. Yeah. And Hal is just
we're saving her a spot.
Adorable. So I could see that working very well for them. It says more lucrative than hard labor, 2 for $1 trees. I mean, Redrick made $50 in a few hours and got lunch out. Well,
they were
dead.
They're probably oaks that were like 20 feet tall because our property 10, 15 years ago, it was like in a burn area that came through, a wildfire came through there. And so all the new oaks are growing up around. They're as tall as I am. And then we've got just these sticks of dead black like trees standing up that have been burned. And I'm like, Redrick, those look terrible in my picture. Go cut those down.
Yeah. So he was there quite a while, but he wasn't working the whole time. And his dad made sure he got lunch and he probably worked some total of a couple hours for $50. So pretty good money for a 13-year-old. Will DIY work on a vinyl covered chair? Like to paint the vinyl? I would prime it first with Salvation Solution and then you could paint it. That would be my suggestion. And in case you guys are just wondering, 50 cents for a 20-foot tree.
They're only about 6 inches around.
Yeah, they're like this skinny.
And I wasn't making him haul them off. He was just dropping them.
Yeah, just chop and drop. Like literally to cut the tree down was what, like a minute?
Oh, he's probably 30 seconds a tree.
Yeah, it wasn't a long time. Don't worry, Zeb did not. Our kids don't work for nothing. If it doesn't make financial, fiscal sense for them, hard pass. All of our kids, they know their worth of their time. Like both my girls work for us at the shop. They both hit their dad up for raises and got them because.
Well, Odelia was like, I'm going to have to go get a big girl job. I'm like, how much are you making? I don't even know right now. And she told me, I'm like, oh, you're making less than the people at McDonald's and you're 18 years old.
So they got a raise.
So I gave her a raise.
Odelia doesn't work that often.
I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a big girl job. We pay you real money.
Odelia doesn't work that often at the shop. We did pay her. I paid her $100 to watch the kids for 2 days overnight while we went and did work on the property. So she was all about that. She's pretty excited for that. And we did pay her like when we went to England. All right, I'm painting Apothecary here. I'm going to find it if I can and drop the, oh, Ivy's on here. I don't know why I'm doing this. Ivy, can you drop, I forgot Ivy's on here. Can you drop
The story time has been really real this morning.
Kelly says for a quarter an hour, tell him I'll be his union rep. Our kids are so like not wanting for anything. Like both Redrick and Eliza. I was thinking about it the other day. When I used to go to Orange Theory, it was like $160 a month for my 1 hour. And I could go as many times as I wanted. And they both do agility training. It costs well, Eliza's less because she is only goes a couple days a week because she has private tumbling lessons. I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't cheap. But anyways, they go to agility training 4 days a week, 1 hour a day. Well, Redrick goes that much. And it's like $169 a month.
Well,
he basically, and it's him and like 10 other people. So it's like it's
like all his buddies.
It's all the private.
We need him to get up off the couch and do something this summer.
Yeah.
Because he would sleep all day. He's really fully embracing his teenager phase. And number two, here in Utah, if you want to play any sports, especially in high school, you have to have a competitive edge. Like you might be on the team, but if you're not really, really, really good, like colleges are looking at you, you're probably not going to play a whole lot.
Yeah. So it's very competitive. But all that, what I was trying to say is I no longer do Orange Theory because I pay for agility training for my children and private lessons. But Zeb and I do work out at the community center. It's okay because The entire reason that we started this business, I actually started this business before Zeb quit his job, was for our kids. Because when Zeb was working full-time at Discount Tire, we could not afford the football, the dance company, which is like a competitive dance type
what I was
things.
making basically covered our cost of living,
Yeah.
like the house, the car payment, utilities, groceries, and
Well,
then we were done. Like we weren't doing anything fun.
Maybe not even all that, but all that to say, I started painting furniture specifically to buy stuff for our kids. So that's always like number one priority, because they only have 18 years of childhood, and I want to make sure that they have advantages. Doesn't mean they don't know how to work, because I feel like that's a disadvantage when you don't teach your kids how to work. But I want to make sure if they need training or private lessons or whatever, they have what they need. I'm using Apothecary. Can you drop the link for that? Thanks, Ivy. This tote, I believe, already sold. Somebody said it was for hanging doll clothes, but I think it'd be really cute with pots in it and flowers, because it gives room for the flowers to go.
You know what's fun? I think we have a lot of people that have been following us for a while, because we get comments and people tell us, or they write us like private messages or send us emails. A lot of people will be like, I just sold my first piece and I'm using the money to do this or this. And it's super fun to see that, like someone being able to go from not ever having painted anything to making awesome home decor that someone else wants to purchase, and being able to sport either a hobby or even transform it into something like we do full time. We've seen a lot of people do that.
Sandra said, why don't the kids just work? They will learn more about real life. They do, but like Redrick's only 13. Eliza's only 15. Odelia, during the school year, is a substitute teacher. And when they are in school and in season, like both of our daughters were cheerleaders, they don't really have time to have a regular job.
It's summertime. Eliza had cheer from 7:30 to 10 today in the summer.
Yeah, and then she had agility training for an hour. But my kids do work. They just work for us. Like they work for the shop, and so they do work. And Eliza, they're not like, oh, the boss's kids come in and don't do anything. Eliza is a good hard worker.
Yeah, we don't monitor them. They get their work done or they don't get paid.
Yep. And my kids also fill in, like if the other day somebody needed to go in because one of my employees had a migraine and my other employee couldn't go in, and then Eliza went in.
Yeah. So
they work.
Yeah, and Jack's still 9.
Aw, thanks, Ivy. She says they are good workers.
So, you know, his opportunities to earn money are outside of the home are very slim.
And I'm not really a helicopter mom per se, but there's no way I would send my like 13-year-old to go work for somebody else unless I super trusted them. So I'd rather have them work for us. And there are actual tax benefits to paying. You can pay your children up to so many thousands of dollars a year to work for you, and you get a tax benefit for that. So, all about that.
All right, I'm having a struggle not touching this and getting it all over the place. I'll come show you in just a second what this looks like. I really like it. You can stipple the salt wash and get like big, thick texture and then lay it down when it's about 3/4 of the way dry. What I mean is like you can smooth it over and it'll have less peaks. I like to just brush it on to start and then give it like a light sand if it looks brushy or has like a texture I don't like.
Zeb, what are you using? Is that White Swan? This
is White Swan. It's probably one of my favorite base colors if I'm going with a neutral finish on.
It's a warm white.
Yeah, on home decor that's going to get distressed back through or add. It's like, this is not the last coat. This is like a texture builder. Once this is dry, I'm going to hand it over to Jamie. She's going to apothecary it. We'll distress it. We'll get the texture and the white back through that apothecary.
I actually think you need to do 2 coats of that because that's really slick.
Yeah, it might.
So do a coat, let it dry completely, do another coat, and then I'm going to go
put it out in the sun.
And you put salt wash in that, yeah?
But it's really cool because even though it's not dry yet, it's already starting to look almost like plaster, like someone just molded it out of plaster over here. Which, if you've been to Europe, everything looks like that.
Yeah. Leslie says, I love Apothecary. I have not used Apothecary in a long time. I was I was accused of
only painting
only
one color.
painting with apothecary, so I tried to stretch my wings. I haven't cracked open a quart in a hot
Well,
minute.
and we did come out with the new Cottage color
Yeah,
line,
Americana's pretty close.
colors a couple months ago, and we're still not over those yet. They're still awesome.
I'm getting almost full coverage with one coat, but I will let it dry completely, and then I will come back and like touch up a few spots. I'm gonna paint.
Okay, I'm gonna go set this.
Can you give me a heat gun?
Yeah, I'm gonna go set this in the sun. I'll go get you a heat gun first.
Okay, because I want to heat gun one side so I can paint the bottom of this, and then I'm gonna do. Do we have a big piece of the medium paper? Because what were we gonna decoupage in this?
I printed some out. So as soon, because we took all the paper this morning that we had printed. So I have more. It's probably down in the printer tray.
So I'm just thinking, do you want me to do the edge of that apothecary?
Can
what
you just,
color are you gonna
just slap a whole color of apothecary on there?
On the whole thing?
Yeah, just light coat. Doesn't need to be full coverage.
Okay.
Just where it's going to be seen. Let me bring this close and show you guys. Hopefully the camera's not hunting too bad today with all of the glare. All right, let's see if we can see this texture. I feel like you can see that pretty good. It was really high gloss shiny before, and now it's got like this smooth, almost like someone hand molded this with plaster.
Yeah, this heat gun is better than a hairdryer. It works faster. So Moon and Ploob says, I love hearing that your kids work for you. I grew up working in the family business with my dad's dairy bringing. If you could reach the counter with a step ladder, you were old enough to work. I mean, everything our kids do is always like age appropriate, but that's what this family business has been for us, has been a way to be with our kids. When the pandemic hit, my kids could not get out of the house enough, and like they couldn't go anywhere really. But they could come to the shop. And so they would all fight to take turns over who got to come to the shop.
Some of you guys got some stuff that Redrick and Jack painted.
Yeah. You guys, if you remember when Redrick and Jack used to paint thrift flips, and those things would sell so fast, people would want what they painted. And Jack actually, between the two at that time, he was, I don't know, not even maybe 5 years old. And at that time, he would actually paint furniture that I sold in the shop later that people probably had no idea that 5-year-old painted it. He was pretty good at it. And there was a while that they wanted a basketball hoop that we still have outside. And so I had them paint some benches, and they earned enough money for a basketball hoop. Can we do modern pieces? Probably not, Rose. That's not really my jam. And we kind of paint what is in our style. We have done some mid-century modern.
Ask Jamie how she feels when I thrift something that she wouldn't love to display in her shop.
Yeah, if it's not something kind of matches our style. But if I find something modern that I like, I would. But there's just not a lot that's my jam. I like to be honest. It's not that I don't love you. It's that I don't love modern. And I try not to do things that just to do them, you know. But we did one mid-century modern piece. It was a little nightstand. We have a video on it somewhere. And we painted it white and put roses on it. So it wasn't really modern when we were done.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. When it comes to like the decor and the style we do, I mean, I can pick it out because I know what Jamie likes, but that's pretty much all Jamie as far as that goes, because in typical dude fashion, like I have things that I like, but I just don't care about it that much to like get real passionate about the way it actually looks. I love the actual finish work. Like doing this stuff is a lot of fun. It's kind of artistic for me, but like the medium I'm painting, sometimes I thrift things and Jamie's like, that's not going to go in my shop. I'll be like, don't worry, I'm going to paint it. And she'll be like, even then, I don't know. And then I'll paint it and she'll be like, okay. But then I'll also get the lecture. If that doesn't sell tonight in the live stream, that's not going on the floor. Lecture.
Now I'm going to get all these comments about how I do not lecture him. But this is important.
It's true.
Guys.
No one lectures me.
Nobody lectures them because you don't listen.
I don't allow it.
He doesn't take criticism well. But if you have a shop, if you don't want it to look like the thrift store, you have to have a sense of style, right? And so there has to be somebody who ultimately is curating a look. Otherwise, it's just a mishmash. I do have a corner that's a little bit boho that I keep for Debbie, but that's about it as far as that goes. When is the cottage going to be ready to rent?
Oh, guys, it could be a while. We
got distracted. We fell out of love with the project.
The problem is that it's taken more money and effort than we were hoping. and we have to put some of those funds other places first before we can.
It will happen.
Priorities are getting in the way of the cottage.
Yeah, we did have to get our land listed, and we got that done. We've got to finish a basement bedroom. That will probably happen, I would say, this week or next. And then the cottage is on the list after that. We've got some family stuff going on that's like extended family stuff that we're not really talking about because it's not our story to tell. We've just required us to work on other projects, but we will get back to it. We just really need to get the basement bedroom finished, making more room at the house, and then we'll get back to that. And we have to get the garden put in. The garden's in now, so
the garden is in. It's looking good. Things are growing. The grapevines are just going like crazy. They're going to be as tall as that trellis.
Can you fix the camera?
Yes, I'm coming.
Galen says, I understand. We are going to work on it. I promise. Because we've already spent the money. We have the flooring. We're putting the ceiling in. So
I think once the ceiling goes in, the rest of it will come together pretty quick. That was like a fairly large hang up that takes a lot of like extra thought and precision cuts to do. Whereas the way we had it before, I was going to slap some paint on the wall and then drop the flooring in. The flooring is like Jenga. It's just pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, and the things that Zeb's working on right now aren't necessarily things I do. So once that's done and I can get in there, it'll go fast.
We're not to the pretty stage yet. All right. There's a little bit left that I didn't get scraped out. This is kind of thick. The lid wasn't on it tight, but it won't pour out good. So I'm going to just use it up.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to do that apothecary.
This is a different tray.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, this tray?
Do you want me to paint this one apothecary?
Yeah, that's fine. Either or.
Okay, let me get my mirror outside drying.
This does not have salt wash in it. I'm just painting it white.
But we will be working on it again this summer. Yeah, if we can get our act together, then we'll get. We also have had a lot of family.
Here's the thing: we got a ton of family that comes into town in the summer. Eliza gets displaced out of her room because she's got a queen size bed in there. We specifically did that so that when family comes to town, they've got a bed to sleep on that's big, and so we're working on getting an extra room set up in the basement. So Redrick wants to move down there. And Eliza can do whatever or move to his room, or we can put guests in Redrick's room.
Because his room makes a king size bed when it goes up.
Yeah, he's got like a trundle bed that can turn into.
It was a huge amount of work just to fix the window in his room and to get the basement cleared out.
Yeah, so I had to build a custom window because this is an old. The basement is probably. The house was built in 1917, and the basement, they dug it out under the crawl space after the house was built, probably sometime in the 30s, I'm guessing, by the way it looks like it's built. And the window that they left for egress is not very big. So we brought it up closer to code. We're not quite 100%, I don't know on that, but we're there. Like I can get through that window just fine. And that was the whole goal. We didn't want to put someone down there that didn't have a proper fire escape.
We will.
But I had to build it custom to fit the hole.
We will be using an agency to rent out. Like we won't be handling like people that come rent it. Because Leslie's like, you probably don't want to deal with the weirdos. That is always a concern when you are in the public eye.
Well, and once you put it up on like Airbnb or something, I mean, it's one thing if we've got fans that are coming and wanting to see us. Another thing if some random stranger from wherever like books it, you know?
Yeah, but we're gonna have an agency that handles like the cottage for us. We won't be doing it ourselves because it's not very, very safe, like stranger danger type situation. So we'll probably do that. We'll get it eventually. I am hoping that's the other reason why like the video for Thursday is already almost like it's halfway done because we're trying to give ourselves a few days every week where we could do big projects. Like last week, we took off the end of the week because our video was already done and spent 3 days at our 5 acres doing dirt work. And now that's listed and done. Check that off the list. So we're slowly
the whole time we're out there. Like sun's coming up in the morning. Jamie's like, "Are you sure we want to sell this one?
It's so
this property is pretty. It's high in elevation. But like when the oaks aren't burned down, it's just like covered in like 20-foot
The
tall
view
oaks.
is gorgeous. It's so much prettier when you come into the subdivision. It's okay, but our property is on the back of the subdivision, and then instead of overlooking broken cars and people's tiny homes that may or may not be pretty, or broken down buses, things like that. Because when you're in,
This is what happens when you get into off-grid properties.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. When you come around the corner and you see where our property is, it overlooks like a multi-million-dollar ranch, and it's gorgeous. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's so pretty, and it goes from being like junipers to lots and lots of oaks. And what you're looking at is lots of oaks and lots of pine trees on the opposite side of the valley. It's just so pretty. So I don't think we'll have a hard time selling it, which means then we'll get to buy some other properties. Zeb would love to flip multiple properties a summer, but I have committed him to one a summer. So we could check that off the summer bucket list. We already have it listed, and then we'll find something else.
The 40's in danger.
Yeah, we'll find something else to buy, but then we won't work on it till next summer.
So what we did, if you're wondering what we actually did to the property, we went in and put like a pretty big camping/camper pad. You could probably use it for a home site, but if it was mine on a home site, I'd dig it out deeper into the mountain. But
you could get started
but I made it so that you can pull through. The property has like a lot of frontage on the road, and so you can come through here, camp up here on the camping pad, and see the beautiful view. And then if you're not good at backing up your trailer, you can just drive right on out back onto the road, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's got a circular drive. So that's what we did. But now that's done, once we get the basement done, there really won't be any excuse not to continue to work on the cottage. And with our current filming schedule, we do give ourselves a couple of days every week for larger business projects, for working on things at the store. And so it has worked out really well for us. We may go live and do a shop tour on Friday, but we'll see. We'll see.
So I haven't told Jamie yet, but hear me out. Hear me out.
What haven't you told me?
I've been thinking about this. I think it would be. I was in the shop looking at it, and I was kind of seeing all my clocks together over on the wall. And I'm like,
clocks.
It would be really great, not just the clocks, if we kind of did like a revamp. You know how we have like the candles and all the soaps and scents pretty well organized, but like the candlesticks. This also was my thought when I was thrifting all the candlesticks the other day. I'm like, what if we just got like all the candlesticks together and put a lot of the books together, and we can sprinkle some around to like make a vignette work if we need to, but just to kind of have kind of the wood sections all together, but we have a few other categories that need organized like that.
Yeah, we could go in there, but not this week.
No, not this week.
It's not happening this week.
What project next? Oh, I think I need to do a second coat on these.
What are we doing with this after I painted Apothecary? Are we going to put a transfer on
I'm gonna decoupage it.
Why am I painting it if you're decoupaging?
I said you didn't need to do a good finish.
Oh, well, I don't.
But it's beautiful. We could just stamp it, or we could do like a stencil, since you've done such a good job painting it.
Yeah, we're already painting it. I'll do 2 coats. Let's do some stencil.
Did you paint
work.
the inside too?
Oh, I sure did.
All right. Well, I will paint.
It needs 2 coats to be good.
I'll paint these handles on here if you want to go pick out a stencil of your choice.
Yeah. So this property, Alley Cats, we bought last year. So if you watched the video on Jamie and Zeb last fall,
it was
October. Right before we went to England.
I think the video was like October 20th. Is when it came out. It's like titled "Getting Out of Town" on Jamie and Zeb channel.
Yeah, we literally bought it right before we went to England. It almost didn't happen because the guy that we bought it from didn't actually own it when he listed it, which is totally illegal.
He was in the middle of buying it, and then he was intending to flip it, and he subdivided like 9 acres. We tried to buy both from him, and he didn't play ball with our pricing.
We weren't even sure, but it was such a great deal. We were like, well, I guess we'll see how this plays out. I mean, I guess we could have tried to sue him, I guess, for whatever reason, but we're like, let's just see how this plays out, because it was totally illegal for him to list it before he owned it. And sure enough, he owned it before we bought it, so everything's on the up and up. But
like the day we purchased it from him, he closed the day before. I was like, well,
and you know what?
sketch,
Everybody got a little bit of money, so it's fine. The person that he bought it from agreed on the price that he bought it from, and he made a little money off of us. And
yeah, our realtor called up and she's like, so I've been digging into this, And technically he listed this illegally.
He's like, she's like, you guys could pull out of this. I'm like, oh no, I want this property. It was so pretty. And we didn't have time. We needed to do a 1031 exchange because we sold our other property. We didn't have time to find another one. What brush am I using? I'm using the F30, Tanya. Vicky says, also happy to confess that this weirdo will book the cottage. I have to say, in all my years, knock on wood, we've never met an actual weirdo. Like every person we've ever met has always been super nice.
Very gracious.
I feel like the kind of people that are drawn to us that we collect, I guess you could say, like the people that follow us are all pretty kind. And those people, we've only had a number of people that have been like rude that we've had to like block from like email type stuff. But we've really not had too many.
Like when she says a number, 3 or 4.
Yeah, like not a lot.
Out of
hundreds of thousands of people, we're still very cautious to protect our privacy. Like we're not inviting people over to our house, right? But we haven't had to deal with that, so that's been good. This used to be a Christmas tote, and now it's getting all apothecary.
It's gonna be,
I apothecaried that. That should be a shirt. Like I apothecaried that.
Is it?
But then people are going to think like I'm handing out herbs.
Is it messed up if we put sunflowers with
the
new sunflower stencil that's going to be in the craft kit?
We
have the craft kit ready to go. If you guys like for next quarter, I think that goes up in July is when it ships out. Yeah, we ship
in July. We've already designed the stencil.
So you can sign up, but the stencil is like worth getting the craft fit kit just for that. The craft kit's cool. Exclusive. It's like a tote with a stencil, and you're going to get some paint to stencil with and a stencil brush. But the stencil is a really great sunflower arrangement, and I think it would look really good on this, even if we did it like in a yellow color.
Robin says no pajama parties, no. Although I'm not gonna lie, I have worn pajamas on camera, and if I'm wearing a big sweatshirt, I may or may not be wearing a bra, but no pajama parties. Zeb is actually the more social of the two of us, like, which is shocking. Didn't used to be that way, but I am. And
there was a while there we were looking at getting a big Sprinter van, like a big 12 passenger one that could tow a trailer, and doing like thrifting tours around Salt Lake Valley. And Jamie's like anxiety was just through the roof, not because she doesn't want to hang out with people. Her stress is like, what if they don't find good stuff while we're out thrifting, or don't meet their expectations? What if I'm not as fun and bubbly as they thought I would be?
I feel very, like when I'm at an event, I feel very responsible for the happiness of the people, and you can't please everybody. And it is not fun for me if I do an event and not everybody's happy. And so that stresses me out. I think I care too much, and I love people too much. I can't separate myself out and be practical and say, you can't please everybody. Like in my mind, I just can't do it. So we're not buying a Sprinter van. We are not doing party tours. Maybe if there's some sort of epiphany or a psychological breakthrough that we come through with me, but at this point in time,
when Odelia gets back off of her mission, she and I will take you.
Well, you can't leave me out.
I'm not making any promises. Who knows where we're going to be in a year and a half? I don't.
Yeah. So we take you with us. The camera.
Yeah, we take you with the camera.
Did you stack these on top of each other?
No, I stacked them side by side.
Oh, you put them on top of each other.
Were they on top of each other?
They sure were.
Oh, maybe I did. I didn't need to.
It's fine.
It wasn't in my thought.
Are you still working on your other property? We have our 40 acres. Yeah.
We have a little pad, but after building the one out at the 5 acres, I'm like, man, I need to make that way bigger.
Yeah. We do have a little pad out there, but we're not really doing anything else other than that. Zeb would love to.
I haven't been out there in like a month.
Yeah. We've got too many other things going on. And I basically gave Zeb a hit list in one of our conversations of all the things that would need to happen before we could start something new, like building a cabin out on the 40. So Zeb has actually been pretty diligent about
the cottage is going to get finished, and the basement is going to get finished. And there's some trim in Jamie's kitchen that has needed done since we put the wood floor in last fall.
Yeah. So there's a hit list of things that will happen before anything else happens on the 40.
Okay, what was the plan on this?
Stencil.
I like this for a big tote with like larger jars. Maybe you could probably fit like 2 half-gallon Masons in here. I would do something
up the side, so whatever. I painted it, so whatever you do with that.
I might go grab, like, This is going to...
Irma says, I'm a people pleaser and working on it.
This is a crazy. This is a half-gallon mason jar of buttermilk syrup. We had some family in town, and I made a lot, and they didn't eat very much of it.
We have a bunch left over.
So I have a bunch left over.
Jars in there.
But this is like a half-gallon jar, and you could even put like a floral arrangement in here, use it as a centerpiece. So I think I'm going to use some of that new paper. I think it'll fit if I go vertically. I'll have to see what it looks like. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab that from downstairs.
The cottage equals income plus plan the cabin on the 40. See, there you go.
Yeah.
Somebody said there were people pleasers and they were working on it. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a people pleaser. Like I am not overly whatever, but I act like I'm a lot tougher than I actually am. We're reading a book called, we're always reading a book. Seb and I have a book we've been listening to. Let me check my Audible. It's called The Anatomy of Peace. And it's talking about seeing people as people, but not being like soft. You don't have to be a pushover. And also it's talking about how we carry around like boxes. And sometimes our box that we carry around is we want people to perceive us as nice. So we do things because we want people to think we're nice. And it talks about how to overcome that, where you do things just to do them, but that you don't specifically have to do things because you don't want people to think you're not nice. Because sometimes we're so worried about pleasing other people, which isn't even possible all the time, that we're not pleasing ourselves. And then the book also goes into like conflict resolution and how to see people as people. And it's a really good book. Zeb and I started listening to it on the way to the property the other day. And I think we have, it's going
like 3 hours to go.
What the heck? Stop. We have 3 hours left. So we'll hopefully get it finished in the next few days.
It's been pretty good.
Oh, Kelly says you'll have to give samples at the shop like Costco of your buttermilk syrup mix. I actually make the buttermilk syrup more than Zeb most of the time, but it's pretty delicious. It makes me want to have waffles for dinner. Mexican for lunch and waffles for dinner.
Ooh, I love waffles. I'm just over here off camera cutting this paper. It comes off the printer like this. I'll show you. I think I've shown it before, but not everybody has seen.
One of the things I like to tell people is every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. So you have to remember that when you're trying to please people.
Jamie was looking at this the other day. She's like, what if we just took like half of this and we could do like 2 even mediumer pieces of paper, and then we could fold it in half and ship it cheaper. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
What is buttermilk syrup? Buttermilk syrup is sugar.
It's basically like caramel syrup.
Yeah, sugar and milk. You use baking soda,
vanilla,
dark corn syrup. It's not healthy. There's vanilla in it. It's delicious. Somebody was asking a question. Hold on. Zeb, how about putting another box on top of that one to use it to put paint cans or bottles in? I don't know what she means with that, but let me see if there's any more questions.
All right, I think this is just a hair too tall.
I've learned the word no. High school can demand every minute of your free time and can make you say no more than you would have. Do you teach high school, Vicki? Is that what you do?
Jamie.
What?
So I'm either going to have a gap on the bottom or a gap on the top. Should I just put it on here and then just do like a continuation of the tree from over here and this be one side, and then I could do the same on the other side?
I don't like any of those options.
What if I leave it high and do something painted on the bottom?
Or just put something else on it.
Do different paper?
Yeah.
Are we back to stenciling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a transfer.
Or a transfer. Let me look and see what we've got in here.
Moon and Plum. It is a good book on Audible. I also like the bonds that make us free or set us free. I can't remember. That one I actually have the physical copy. I actually have a physical copy of this book too, but I wanted to listen to it with Zeb. And so we've been listening to it. I'm all about learning. I feel like it's important. Conflict resolution and creating more peace and harmony in your home is like such a good skill. It's not just work related, but like we're raising teenagers over here. So
yeah, you want to talk about conflict.
Yeah.
Every time they walk down the stairs, I'm like, no.
And it's about like, sometimes you can not be a bad person, but inside you're seeing people not as people, right? Like you're at war with them. And that's not anywhere that anybody wants to be. Nobody wants to be at war with their family.
Where's that stencil at?
What stencil? Oh, it should be over by the bag over there. The sunflower stencil.
Yeah.
Okay. If you got, how many times can you listen to an Audible? I thought you could just listen to it indefinitely. Because I have a book that I'm also listening to called The Inheritance Games. It's Redrick's book, and we're both listening to it at the same time, and he had listened to it before. For whatever reason, it was playing in German for him, so we had to figure out how to make it English. They said lavender would be pretty. Do we have any lavender transfers? I don't know if we have any.
You know what's
we have
nice?
A sunflower transfer that has lavender over there.
Go see. You know what I'm going to do? I have a solution because I'm not finding enough of the pieces of the transfer I want to do, and you're going to have to look for that stencil. I got no idea where you put it.
What stencil?
The sunflower stencil.
Oh, it's not in the bag? The black bag the craft kit bag? You
said buy the bag.
I really need to
I'm
eat
a
Mexican
dude. You got to be super specific. It is in the bag.
I swear that's what I said. You guys, did I say in the bag? Was it me or was it him? It's possible that I thought it and didn't say it.
I have selective hearing. It could have been me.
I have selective speaking. So between the two of us. All right. Those.
So this is the craft kit. Uh-oh.
Did you get something on it? It's okay, that's mine.
I got some gold on it.
It's fine. I stenciled that, and
you'll have to do some more stenciling.
And we're going to be using crinoline, and that's white linen, so it'll look better when we do the video for the craft kit.
So this is the craft kit, decent sized tote.
Yeah, the tote.
It's heavy duty, like a duck cloth.
The tote opens up like 5
Maybe
inches, something across the bottom, so you could fit like going to the beach, you're going to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
It's got a nice bottom on it. And it's well made, so.
Yeah, I got some gold on the back of it. I didn't realize.
If you haven't signed up for the craft kit,
these are gonna be perfect.
If you haven't signed up for the craft kit, you should do so. Ivy, if you're still on here, would you drop the link for that? I know most of you, a lot of you have signed up for the craft kit. And then since I announced that one, we've had even more sign up. Somebody actually ordered 3 of the craft kits.
I have to let Cody in. He's gonna die. He's out there whining. But if you bark, you're going back out. No barking. No one even saw you come in, little guy. You're so small. Okay, I'm getting some paints and stencil brushes.
One common misconception is that if you love people, that you will only tell them what they want to hear and only do the things that they want you to do. And that's not really the case, because sometimes that's not in the best interest of everybody involved. And sometimes you have to do the hard things to make sure that everybody is taken care of and that your family is taken care of. So that's where I think conflict resolution is handy. Not everything is peaches and cream. The bag is so cute. Thank you.
Okay, so let me show you what I've been looking at. We've got this really tall, it's like a doll hanger wardrobe clothing situation, but we're going to put sunflowers on the side of this, and you can do what you want with it. I think even with the sunflowers, it could still be like a little doll clothes hanger.
It's The Anatomy of Peace, Cher. The Anatomy of Peace. You can also buy the book on Amazon and order it in. I did that, but then I also got it on Audible so we could listen to it while we were driving. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not a huge self-help book reader. Like, I read maybe 1 or 2 a year, but this book is pretty good, and it's done by storytelling, so it's a fictional story getting the point across. So that's interesting to me. And it was recommended to us by Zeb's cousin, who I really like. And so I was like, well, if Julia recommends it, then it's got to be a good book. And it's timely for us because we need it. How much paint is in the craft kit? It's like 1 to 2 ounces. It's always enough to do the project. Occasionally you'll have some left over. But you do get the full-size stencil, and you get an actual, this month you get the actual stencil brush. So you can use the stencil brush and the stencil for a myriad of projects long past the craft kit. And then you also get the bag.
All right, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to mix some crockery, which is like a brownish cream color that looks just like crockery, like a crock. And I'm going to put it in with this liquid sunshine because it's pretty bright. Whew, that's bright. I need my sunflowers to not be quite that bright. We have some really fun, like wildflower type sunflowers that have like a lot of red and orange in them growing at the shop.
We have
right now.
hundreds of wildflowers. We're gonna have so many sunflowers in the shop garden.
For me throwing them out last year after I harvested the heads off of them, there's like random sunflowers like growing all over the property now.
Sometimes the truth hurts better than being placated. Sometimes you have to grow from the truth and you have to deliver hard news, but you have
Also,
to
if
like
someone-
not come at people, right? It's not,
Yeah.
I always like if there's a conflict, you talk about the conflict.
If
not how
Caitlin
the
was on,
person
she
is.
would say that we're not professional therapists at this point and that
Oh,
we
yeah.
can't give this kind of mental health advice.
We cannot give any mental health advice.
Just-
Please see your
We're just
professional.
telling you about our own experiences.
All right, Zeb, what am I
It's
doing?
funny the things that you have to disclaim.
I'm going to work on Corrina's project, but do you want me to bring your tray in while I'm out here?
Oh yeah, it's probably dry. It's like 1,000 degrees out there. Once it hits over 50, I basically melt like a popsicle.
But for serious, I want to
55 to 65 degrees, overcast, light breeze. That's like my perfect temperature. If you know a place that's like that year round, let me know.
I think we should be done by like 2-ish if we can, just because then we can have time to eat and then finish the other video.
Okay.
Before, what time do you have to go to your hike with the young men at church?
6:30.
Okay.
It's an evening hike up to a waterfall. I'm super excited about it.
People don't tell me secrets because I can't lie if I'm asked outright. That's what my sister Renee said. My sister Renee can tell you that me and my sisters are pretty good about telling each other like it is and forgiving each other. We don't always see eye to eye, but communication is pretty good. And it's always, I can't communicate with everybody the way that I communicate with my sisters. It's not always that easy, but it works out pretty well. And we don't always, like, me and my sisters are not all the same all the time. And that's okay. I learn a lot from them, and maybe they learn from me. I don't know.
All right, here's where we're at. We got a little bit too mustardy on that. We're gonna need more yellow.
Nadine, the rocking horse will be available Saturday night.
Yes.
It'll go live just before.
I had planned on
8:30.
doing a makeover on that.
Yeah, I've listed it. I've got everything ready to go for everything that we thrifted yesterday. We did go to the bins already. That'll be on Thursday's video, and probably today or tomorrow I'll get that listed. We're trying to get all of our work done early this week. We'll see. If we really focus, we're pretty good about getting it done. And baseball season is over, so we've got a little bit more time.
Yep,
Although
Jack.
now that baseball season is over, then Zeb's spending more time working with the youth because that kind of was put on hold while he was coaching Jack's little league team.
Yeah, but baseball was 3 nights a week and the youth is just 1.
Tanya says, I'm going to do my own Paintapalooza later today, and I'm going to do it on Facebook for my friends. That is so fun. I love that. Yeah, it's fun to just hang out and get projects done. Sometimes it can seem monotonous, but if you're doing it with friends and just hanging out, it makes the time go faster. Then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I've been painting for 2 hours and completed a lot of stuff.
So I think I'm just going to do the whole thing. No, I'm just going to do the heads yellow. I changed my mind last minute, and I might come in with some green.
Oh, Western Washington is 59 degrees and raining today. My knee was hurting, so I actually think we have a storm moving in. It's not on the forecast, but my knee was hurting this morning. I can tell the weather with my knees.
How are the winters there?
This sunflower stencil, what? Oh,
In
how are the winters in
Washington.
Washington? Somebody's asked about the sunflower stencil. It'll only be available with the craft kit. I think Ivy linked it, but if she didn't, maybe she can link it again. But we will be coming out with something similarly related because I had a few prototypes. Hopefully here this summer. I emailed my manufacturer.
Yeah, but the
The
only
other
way
one's
you're
going
going
to
to
be totally different. The only way to get this particular
Yeah.
one in this size is with the craft kit. It's kind of one of those things we do exclusively for the craft kit subscribers. It gives them a little benefit. Like it's only something that they can get this way. We do need to, though, Zeb, we need to do more dictionary pages because we've sold out of a few.
Oh, really?
And we were going to do some for Saturday and we forgot. So I thought about using the printable that we did for channel membership and using on the dictionary pages because we don't make them decoupage papers, but you can use them up to 100 times each person. So I thought we could make some dictionary pages with them. Oh, it went dark. Can you see? Oh, no, it went light again. We're good. I think it's just cloud covering. Apologize. It's this dang sunroof. Thanks.
It's when I
should drop
move.
the link to the craft kit.
Here, I'll sit right here in front of that bright spot.
Renee's making quesadillas. My sister Deborah's here visiting, and last night they had make your own dinner night. Daryl made fish, I think, and Deborah had.
Well, we had lots of leftovers that needed to get.
Yeah, Deborah had a leftover salad. I had, what did I eat? Oh, I had a muffin, and then I had some cereal and milk. I didn't really eat much for dinner. I made up for it with a healthy egg bite breakfast.
Oh.
What's a good email for questions? CL, you can email info@jamierayvintage.com. And if Caitlin doesn't know the answer, she will come to us. And she does multiple times a day, and we respond to all the emails that way. So info@jamierayvintage.com, and Ivy just put that in comments. Yeah, we could do waffles tonight and bacon. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I need to clean up
Am I
the
doing that
fridge.
before or after my hike? Because I probably won't be back from my hike until.
Oh, maybe we'll have to do that tomorrow because
if we're gonna
go eat Mexican, I'm not going to be hungry before your hike. I can make waffles though.
You could.
You can eat waffles.
You could do it without me. I'll be sad, but
you could do it I'll save you some batter and you can eat when you get home.
All right.
Although when you get back from your hike, what time do you think back?
Well, we're not even leaving until 6:30.
Oh, can you fix the camera? We've been on another.
Probably about 9-ish, maybe
okay.
10, 9:30. I don't know.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. But I got to feed Jack. Is it just your age group or is Redrick going on the hike with you guys?
Nope, it's just the 16 to 18-year-old young men.
Okay.
Most of them will probably run to the top.
What are you hiking?
Battle Creek.
Oh, the one that I did last year and I just sat?
Yep.
Maybe I'll go with you and take Jack and we'll go to the waterfall.
Well, I don't know if we're going up farther in the creek. We might just stop at the waterfall. It depends on how long it takes us. But like these 16-year-olds, they just run up the mountain. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
That's what I'm saying, though. I might just come with you and then Jack and I can.
I'm over 40 now. I can't do that.
You don't have to. You can do your work with your kids and then Jack and I'll just do our own thing. Instead of staying stuck at home. Thank you. The kit price is $42.95. That does include shipping. Or you can do, that's if you sign up for recurring. If you want to do one time only, it's $49.95. The reason why it's cheaper is if people do recurring, it helps us plan for the amount of kits, which sometimes can be hundreds. So it's just easier if everybody's on recurring. What am I painting right now? This is a finial and it belongs to Corrina. It was not supposed to be painted, but Seb broke it accidentally. And Corrina has given us her blessing to repair it and paint it. So it's got salt wash with White Swan, and now I'm coming through with Apothecary. I'm going to do a little wet distress, and then we're going to come through and add some gold on it. I can't decide though if I want. We'll see what the wet distress looks like. There might be a little bit of dry brushing just on the detail to two-tone it, and then gold. But I'm going to do wet distress first. Blanca says, my therapist told me I need a hobby, so I took up painting ceramics, but I do have some wood furniture pieces I want to paint. Yeah, it is fun to paint. It is good therapy to create, especially if you don't have control over everything in your life, but like you have a skill and you know, okay, if I take this paint and I take this time, I can make this happen. I know when you're first learning, you don't have as much control. You're still figuring it out, but Zeb and I are pretty good about knowing what we can and cannot do. And it's very nice to know that I can make stuff over and have control over that part of my life. Feels good. As you get older, you realize you are not in charge of everything. And you cannot control every outcome, unfortunately.
Once I get done with this side, I'll bring it closer so you guys can actually see the stenciling.
I've got second coat on Corrina's piece. It might even work out well because we did not We did not charge for painting, right? Like, so she might get more than she bargained for. Or she might have just liked the way it looked before.
It had a really good crackle finish on it before. I was pretty sad when it fell off the counter.
Sean Morey says, well, if it belongs to Corrina, how can I buy it? Well, you're going to have to negotiate with Corrina.
So this sold Saturday night, and we broke it, and so now we're just showing you how we fix it.
I'll try to find another one for you, Sean. It's Sean, the cow print chairs, Sean.
Oh, yes.
The chairs that I was like, I will never upholster anything. They turned out amazing, and I love Sean, so it made it all worth it. But those cow, it looked like we had a cow in our house, like, and it shed. Those were a situation and a half. But you know what? We finished it. Sean is lovely. I'd do almost anything for her, so it worked out. What would that finial sit on top of? Just whatever. Like, it's just decor. Sometimes
they look great in vignettes with other pieces around them.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to second coat this box. I don't think I need to second coat the inside, but I'm second coat the outside. Let's just do sunflowers on this box. Let's just sunflower it up.
Okay, I gotta look at my sunflower mix. Like,
what did you mix?
I'm thinking new paint color. That's crockery and liquid sunshine together.
Yeah, we were gonna do mustard, but I do like that.
Like, look at what it looks like
on
drying
new cottage
on
color paint colors. We don't know when, but we are working on them. It's going in the area with her carousel horse, so that will look good. I am going to bring back more white, though. If enough white doesn't come through, then I'll dry brush it.
So this, I'm going to have to add some water to this. This paint has been sitting and it's separated. This is probably 2 years old, and I found it in the back of the cupboard.
Don't use Old China Salty Kiss. So.
And it's almost too dry for me to stencil with. I'm always like preaching the dry brush on the stencil, but it's almost too dry for me.
It's drying out before you.
Yeah, it's like clumping on here. It's almost like a pastel, and I'm trying to stencil with it.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to heat gun one of these sides because I don't think I've painted the bottom yet of this box. I don't actually know who bought this.
Okay, guys, reveal coming in a second. Oh, I've got floating flowers. You know how I feel about that. I'm going to just carry on the stem down a little farther. That's one of the things of like, if you're barely starting out, one of the biggest things I would suggest if you're starting to get to the point where you're using other things and doing different finishes and stuff, and you're using transfers and stencils and decoupage paper, don't leave it floating out there. Doesn't always. It makes it look like it's really fake.
Yeah, you want to like you have balance and nothing floating. You can always tell when somebody is kind of new to like stenciling or transfers when their stuff doesn't look grounded, right? Like it's just like floating there, or it's evenly symmetrical. It's better to layer and create a balanced piece. Oh, the finial never sat on top of anything. It was just home decor. That's what Allie was asking. This color is Apothecary, Chris. We're going to have a lot of Paintapaloozas because Zeb Ray has been buying a lot of stuff that he's painted.
Get ready for tomorrow. Waste Not Wednesday. Here we come.
Well, we'll probably not this week, but next week on Thursday's video, there'll be paint spraying, and we'll just spray a bunch of stuff and complete some projects.
All right. So I mixed some plum pudding, which is like a dark grayish purple color, in with my yellow mix. And I'm using that for the center of these sunflowers, and I like it a lot. It almost is like a dark version of Provincial, and Provincial is already kind of dark with like yellow tones to it. So don't mind me over here mixing colors. You know, I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing, but
we're just playing. That's what we're doing.
Sometimes you got to just play with your color mixtures, and what comes out comes out.
That is the one thing about Zeb and I. We maybe don't do a bunch of in-person stuff, but all these live videos are basically like how-to painting classes. And we try to show that there's no mystery to it, right? Like on edited videos, sometimes you might wonder, oh, did they do something off camera? When you see a live video, you're like, that's exactly how that was done. There's no secret.
You can see the highs and the lows.
Ivy loves it.
On that. That's going to balance out. I'm going to go put this outside for a sec so it'll dry off real quick, and then I can flip it around and do the other side.
So on this one, I'm thinking stencil the sunflowers in white, though, like more tone on tone.
Oh, and real quick before I do that, if you don't understand what I was talking about floating, the stems did not come all the way down to the bottom. They were like stopped like half an inch, quarter of an inch up above, and it made my flowers look like they were just like taped on there. All right, here's this box.
What color did you use? Do Salty Kiss for the stems, yes?
Salty Kiss, straight up Salty Kiss, no added colors on the stems. All right, hang on. What Jamie always accuses me of is happening.
What do I always accuse you
My
of?
mess.
Yeah. I'm a mess too, but Seb doesn't really clean up as he goes. Like sometimes I'll have to go run an errand.
I just used like 6 colors.
And I come home and he literally is working, because Zeb can work neatly in a very chaotic space, whereas I have to like clean space. And like I think it's part of having like being functional with your ADHD, because a lot of people think ADHD is not something good. I feel like it's my superpower, but the way I control it is I'm constantly like stepping things out, cleaning things up as I go along, and that helps me. Zeb can just keep going, and I can't not move stuff every now and then.
All right, these are ready for distress.
And then you just need to oil.
And then I'm going to oil
yes?
everything, yeah.
How are my sweet puppy dogs? They are good. Are they outside?
Just let Cody in. I think he raced off to mom's room.
They're good. They got shaved down like a month or so ago.
Yeah, they're starting to get
happy.
They're starting to get their curls back again.
Yeah, they're starting to get their curls back, but they were getting hot and they were a little matted, and so we shaved them down. Zeb did. And
it was getting to the point where their hair was like, I don't know, Rex's hair was probably.
I can't promise I won't use that stencil for making daisies. That's why I'm thinking use white on here and see what it looks like.
Okay, just a light distress. I don't want to go crazy on this. This is 220 grit sandpaper. I'm hardly pushing because this is pretty fresh, and usually we use 320. Okay, I like that.
Whenever you're distressing cottage color, just go lightly with 320 and see how it works before you start pushing hard.
Okay. This little rolling pin's hand turned.
The only thing I am a little out of practice on is I've been doing a lot of cottage color and it has a built-in sealer, whereas Apothecary does not, so I'm gonna have to come back and seal all this. But this is pretty much ready for you to stencil. If I put it back here, it should be dry by the time you're ready. So
okay.
My gold is working on it. Corrina's piece is still drying. I'm just gonna move it over here. And do one more coat of gold on.
Oh, I missed a whole section.
Oh, where's my picture? Here. My other mirror, is that still outside?
Yep, it's outside.
All right, I'm gonna go grab that and leave the gold to dry a little bit longer before I put my last coat of gold.
Missed a whole section on the bottom here. This is that white swan that doesn't, I'm pretty much scraping the bottom of the barrel here. This does not have salt wash on it.
Good thing I took the mirror out of that frame. Although it's now gonna have to be glued back together. Yay, Jamie.
Oh, did you break it?
I didn't break it, it just fell over. I don't even know how that happened. Do we have wood glue out?
I have it, I know right where it's at in the garage. Where did it break?
It's just on the joints. Oh, it's gotten dark again.
You need your smiling face to look up at it.
I don't know that it got lighter. It's because you moved.
Oh. I'll just sit right here
I'm like, what if we...
the whole time.
I don't even know if that works. All right. How would you mix a dusty blue? Just put blue hills mixed with gray skies. That's what I would do. Where's my gold brush?
Okay.
I brought your toad in too if you want to finish the other side.
Oh, yeah, I will in just a second. I've got to oil these.
I did this once with Americana where I just kind of dry brushed the gold over the top. So I'm kind of getting a similar look and I like it.
Oh, you broke that good. Well, the floor broke it.
It wasn't me. Honestly, it just came in and it fell off. I don't know what happened. Maybe the people of YouTube can tell us what happened. Was there a ghost? I don't know.
All right, so this is Sweet Pickins tongue oil, and this is the 100% pure. It's high grade.
That's not the blend?
Nope, this is not the blend with the lemon solvent or whatever it is. But both are food safe. They're bio-certified food safe. So just going to use that. The paint didn't really need sealed, but there's some conditioning that needs to happen on the rest of the rolling pin, and it gives it like a really rich, older, used tone when you seal it with the tongue oil.
So, query.
The tongue oil is like, you can use it, we use it on the countertops and things like that, and butcher blocks and all kinds of stuff.
When you're done, would you mind grabbing that glue so I can
Oh, yes, I will
triple
fix
coat
that.
my other mirror, and then I can check these off my list. I'll just put some dark wax on them. So that other mirror, I'm just going to clear wax it and dark wax it, and that one will be done. I think one of these red mirrors is sold, but one of them's still available.
I'm going to put this over here.
The one that's broken will be fixed and nobody will know.
Oh, yeah, you won't be able to tell the difference.
Because it didn't like crack in a non, it like cracked. It came apart.
It cracked at the seams. Whoa, that's way more than I needed for this project. What else do you need sealed? We can seal whatever with this.
I don't have anything. I mean, I have that.
Maybe
mirror,
I'll seal that
I don't,
tote back there that I apothecated.
I was going to say, I don't want to use that on my mirror, so.
Okay. What is that?
What is what?
There's something on here that I sealed over.
Is it a Cody hair?
No, it looks like plum pudding.
Oh, paint. That is quite possible.
All right. Problem solved.
Okay, so it took 3 coats, but now I'm good. Healing Bloom says, I'm painting a new beehive using DIY and IOD paint and lay. It's so extra for a beehive, but it's cute. I bet it is. That sounds cute. Okay, I'm going to carefully do this. All right, if you go get that glue, I can glue this and then I can finish painting.
All right. Show them what you did.
This is what I did. Look what I did. So it broke right on the... There's like a little nail here that I'm not going to be able to get back in the correct spot. So we're going to take this nail out. I wonder if I should hot glue it to hold it in place. Does the tongue oil smell? Yeah, it smells kind of like castor oil. Have you ever smelled castor oil? It's not like toxic or anything, but it does have a scent. Zeb, I'm going to do hot glue first.
No.
To hold it in place, and then I'll do the wood glue. Can you grab me the hot glue gun since you're over there? Pretty please with a cherry on top.
Yep. Do we have glue sticks? Because
I do not know. We probably should.
there's not any in this glue gun. You may just have to glue it with the wood glue. Go put it out in the sun for a minute. It'll be all right. There's no glue in that. All right. What project? Oh, we need a stencil. We still have some stenciling to do.
Yeah, that one. And then by the time you're done with that one, the other one should be ready to go. And we got to seal it. Were you going to seal it with tung oil?
Yeah, I got it out. It works really well. For on the DIY, it's designed for milk paint, for sealing up milk paint, but it works really well on the DIY paint too. And over stains. Okay, got to make sure we're not floating this time. I think I'm going to shift it this way so they're not identical. Okay.
You want a nice tight bond so that glue. This is going to require more extensive repair than one had previously anticipated. That's all right. I'm going to glue it. I'll let that dry completely, and then I'll use some lightweight speckle. Got some somewhere.
Okay, so we're back to using the liquid sunshine / crockery mixture to do these sunflowers.
Oh, fun. You're going to be at our shop next Thursday.
Nice.
Thursday is usually our project day, so we may or may not be around, but
You could catch me randomly weeding. It happened
occasionally
today.
we're there grabbing stuff.
I was like, let's go look at the garden real quick. I ended up weeding for 20 minutes.
Somebody was asking how our garden was growing. It's doing good. We did realize that it wasn't watering enough on one side. So we have one side that's a little underdeveloped and wasn't germinating, but
It'll go.
It'll go. And yes, I'm getting gold all over the top of my sink. I'll just clean it off later. Now I just got to clear wax this and then dark wax it, and this mirror will be done. Oh, it's all blurry.
Is that me? Probably me right here. And that sunshine coming through.
Did our other clear wax brush finally die?
Yep, I've been using one of the big
death.
1 1/4 stencil brushes.
I have
for
a
clear wax.
apothecary on my Free People romper. Luckily, that will soak off. All right. Do we have clear wax?
Yeah, we do. Sometimes I swirl to get the color on there, and then it looks streaky, like brush strokey, and I'll come back and tamp it. I usually do the tapping well before I start swirling because I just want to make sure my brush is nice and dry.
Ivy, if you have to leave, you don't have to stay on here. So
Yeah, you're good.
I don't know what you got going on, but I'm just letting you know. Now you got your kiddos home. Shh. We're live. Yes, you may grab a Dr. Pepper. I need dark wax.
That might be in this one. That's white.
I got the dark wax brush. Does this just have oil on it? Okay.
Yep.
No, you can. Okay, she's just hanging out with her kids.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to put the centers in.
So now I'm coming through with dark wax. You always want to clear wax first. If you're new here, you might not know that. So I'm telling you, you always want to clear wax. Otherwise, you won't be able to manipulate the wax well, and it'll be a hot mess. Because this paint is very absorbent. Oh, the dogs have heard that the kids are here. Came rolling down the stairs.
Okay, so plum pudding and the mixture for the petals. And that's how we're going to get our center color.
Hi, I have a question. How do you guys wash the Afghans to clean them?
I
just wash them in my washer and then I lay them to dry. If they're wool, then you would have to use Woolite. Most of the time they are not. So I just wash them and with a Tide Pod and OxyClean on a regular cycle, not hot, just warm. And then I lay them to dry. I never put them in the dryer. All right, so when you're done, can you give them a close-up of that?
Yep.
I'm
almost done stenciling. Realized I had my focus face on.
Your serious face.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go put this out in the sun. Then we'll distress. Then we'll either wax or do the tongue oil. Maybe tongue oil, just because I don't think we've really showed using it just on regular color.
I wasn't in the mood to clean the mirror. Well, I actually taped it off today, guys. I'm still gonna have to put Windex on it later. But it's still a pain to get that tape off. I'll have to use a razor blade because sometimes it goes like under the edge. This is why I don't always use tape.
Is that what you were wanting me to show close?
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to come later and get some of this tape off. Look, here, can you get that off for me?
This is why I don't tape. I just razor blade from the start.
All right, well, I'll get it later.
No, I'll help you.
Thanks, dear.
It's looking amazing, though.
Yeah. It's just like a basic little plasticky mirror, but that paint finish, next level. All right. I don't know what you're working on next, but this coat is ready for some situational work.
Okay.
I'm going to work on Corrina's piece next, but I need to see if I can get this off my... I'll throw it in the wash as soon as we're done.
You know, the funny thing is you're still going to have to razor blade some paint off of here.
There is apothecary all over the place. I know. That's why I don't do that. Ray says, I said come in twice before I realized it was Zeb making that knocking sound.
With the stencil. Yeah, we get a lot of dogs barking at us and cats meowing.
Looks like Zeb or Roderick used some of his money to buy lunch. He's out there with his sister eating by the pool. Can you put regular tape to put rice paper? Yeah, regular tape is fine. It's just not archival quality. But you're also not dealing with a priceless print. So Scotch tape would be totally fine and appropriate to put rice paper on a mat in a frame.
Yep. Okay, I got most of that off. That needs the mirror cleaned.
You already showed it to him up close. Do you want to stencil this? No, this one I was thinking do white flowers.
White flowers like on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They actually do have white sunflowers, so All right, that side is dry.
Okay.
Just making sure this is all.
Let me wash this.
You can also use, they make like archival tape that we ordered on Amazon. Especially if it's going in a frame, right? And then you're putting it back on it. It's just to hold it in place while you put the back on. It's not that big of a deal. So I'm just pulling a little bit of that initial base coat out, but I'm not working it too much because I don't want to get rid of all the apothecary. And this was pretty shiny. So, I mean, it will take it a little bit to the original finish, but that's okay. I might go ahead and dry brush this to get more white on there. Do you still have the white swan out?
Yep, using it right now. Stenciling with the white.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking dry brush on this because I want it to be lighter because the original color was pretty light. So. Okay, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to let that dry.
Are you getting back to the original?
A few spots, but I really just want to dry brush it. So that's what I'm going to do. We've been on for a long time because it just went skinny again.
Oh, I'll fix it.
Shannon says, I just got my first order of milk paint. Can't wait to get creating. Now I need June's color of the month. Make sure you're always ordering Bond, especially if you're ordering Sweet Pickens, because you may need that from time to time. We've had a few projects on live TV that you guys have seen me where I really should have used Bond, and then I had to come back and do it later. Check your drawer next to the fridge, Les. Oh, is Les looking? Oh, Leslie, she's looking for her archival tape. She just didn't know where it was. Is this white swan gone? Yeah.
That one's gone all the way.
Okay, so I'm getting most of the paint off. You have to have a dry brush. If you've recently washed it, it will not work well. Ask me how I know. I'm just going to lightly go over the top of it and bring out the texture. Then I'm going to have to let that dry. Then I'll clear wax it. And then I might come back and gold wax. I haven't decided. Or I might come and add some gold with the golden ticket. Might do that. And then I'll clear wax it.
This is nice just doing one color.
I'm a fan of one. I know that you can do a lot of multicolored stenciling, but like my own personal preference, I love one color stencil. And it'll be a lot more contrasty when you seal it because the apothecary will get darker.
I got to get to hustling. This is going to be a lot of stenciling if I go all the way around this box.
Oh, I was just going to do on the not the handle side. I mean, you can do all the way around if you want to, but I painted it well enough that you don't have to.
Okay.
Dealer choice on that. It's funny because I say dealer choice a lot, and I don't gamble.
And who's the dealer?
You're the dealer. That's why I said.
I?
Yeah, when I say dealer choice, you're the dealer in that situation. What do you guys think? Do you like the dry brush?
The dry brush is always good, and it brings back the texture of the salt wash we did at the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. And also, if any of the original finish comes through, it'll be fine because it'll just kind of, there's a few spots where it's coming through. It just kind of works with the dry brush.
My sister's been writing. I don't know why this sunflower reminded me of that. She's been writing in her journal, and to motivate her to do that, because she really likes doodling and doing like little art type stuff. She's recently gotten into pastels. She's been doing like a little doodle on every page of her journal that she writes in. It's like, oh, I want to start an art journal.
That would not motivate me. I would just want to draw.
Yeah, basically.
All right, clear. Let's heat gun this. Make sure it's dry, dry, dry. Oh, I was going to use golden ticket. Almost forgot.
Don't you forget the golden ticket.
Don't forget the gold.
Are you done with this white though?
Yeah.
You guys, once you see the video Thursday, you'll have to let us know how you like it. I don't want to say we struggled, but the bins were interesting this week.
You don't have control over what you get, though. You know, that's why I try to tell people. I'm like, it's not always a guarantee that when you go, you're going to find all the things you want. So you got to sometimes think outside the box.
I actually think I do like these, like just plain white.
Well, that's what I did on my.
Like the multicolor was fun. Looks good. I think it'll look better when it's distressed. But when you're stenciling, if you're not going to go connect all the connections, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like just the one color looks really good. Oh, I didn't wash my brush out good enough. I got like an ombre on that one.
Hey, look, bonus. I think I'm going to do another little white dry brush over the gold. And then I'm going to call it. I just wanted a little gold peeking through to make it look bougie.
Oh, that was juicy. Shame on me.
Can I have the white back? I'm going to do a little white dry brush in a few spots.
Let me load up here.
So he's using the stencil from the craft kit, but we do have a lot of JRV stencils.
Yeah, lots of florals.
Lots of florals. So you could do something similar even if it's not like identical. So I'm coming back through because I'm like, you know what? I want a little more white. So you can do that.
Well, the craft kit's fun because we try to send you things that aren't just like, oh, something I could make like any skill level can do. We try to send you things to get you practice on something that maybe isn't super precious, you know, just a little tote, you know, no biggie if you mess it up. That way you can practice, and it's on canvas, so you can like practice and get familiar with using other things
On different mediums?
Different mediums and stuff.
There we go. Like that. There we go. Ivy just dropped all our floral stencils.
There's a category. There's so many of them.
That looks really good. I like it.
Thanks.
I'm just going to heat gun this real quick and then I can seal it up and be done with this project. Hopefully Corrina likes it. I don't even know if she's still here yet, but
I'll show you what we've been doing over here. I think it came out pretty good. Now, don't worry. I will distress it. I know some of you were like, is he going to distress it? I don't know if he is or not. If you don't want the distressed aged look, just stop right there at that point where I was just at. And you could clean the stencil off. Oops, we moved. And flip these the other way and do stencils the other direction so that your flowers kind of alternate and flip-flop. Gives you a little more variety. Especially if you have like a really big piece and you don't want it to be a super close matching pattern.
Thanks, Beverly and Stacy and Montgomery's and Gert. Everybody, Leslie, everybody says they love it. I like the finial too. I'm just glad that that a lot of people think when things break, they're lost cause. And I love sometimes when things break, showing people that you can glue them back together again and they can be as beautiful, if not even more beautiful. It's like
if you join in late, you could
see a parable to life.
You could see the cracks on there and the imperfections, and the salt wash just covered it right on up.
Here's Corrina's piece.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I like it better.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like it better because before it looked very machine finished, and now it definitely has that hand painted old world look. The other one wasn't as old world.
There you go. That's the look we're always looking for, the old world.
And it looks cute with this frame that I did with the gold.
Oh, yes, they match.
They're not exactly the same because I did dark wax on the frame, but okay. Back to this one. I'm going to heat gun this a little bit, and then I'm going to...
Is that the one you glued?
No, that one's outside. That one, I got to let that glue really dry. Then I don't know. I might just
much better gold than the red.
Yeah, it was my favorite.
And if it chips or wears,
it'll look okay
time,
if the red comes through.
The red is like what would be under it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like historically accurate now.
Yeah, I'm going to check and see what the other one looks like. And then if that glue has dried, then I can do more gold and see if I need to putty it or if I can just go with it and then dark wax it. And...
We have a friend that was posting pictures of Edinburgh, Scotland. And we're oh, we need to get back over to the UK.
I have a little wanderlust wanting to travel. I'm going to go check on the one that I broke and glued up and let that cool off.
Right. You might have to put more gold on it, but...
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But this one just needs dark wax.
That one's ready.
And then don't forget you got to decoupage your tote.
Oh, yes. I haven't forgotten. Perfect.
Yep, it's all nice and glued up, so I'll just put some more gold on it. And I don't think I'm going to put any putty. I don't think it needs it. All right, your tote's here. I've got some greasy fingers from waxing on it, so you're going to have to wax your tote.
Okay.
I don't know how you were going to finish it, but...
Well, that or the oil, the hemp oil.
Okay.
Or tongue oil.
Tongue oil. So this is the one that I glued up.
So if you're ever on the website, since I mentioned the hemp oil, the big difference I feel like is that the tongue oil dries hard, almost like a resin finish, and the hemp oil is more of like conditioner. It will close the pores on things so that it's not so porous, but I don't feel like it gets as hard as the tongue oil.
So kind of like butcher block oil, how you have to like treat it.
But both are food safe.
All right. This one is repaired a little. The red is actually peeking through because it fell, but I don't hate it. So I'm going to leave it.
Do you have a run on the one side? Yeah, on your right. The
Here?
right side, no.
No.
Okay. Trick of the eye.
Okay. So this particular one, we sold one and one's still available. Where's my dark wax? Do you have it over there somewhere?
You put it over here. It's right here. I have not used it yet. It's wherever you set it.
Are you saying that I did that?
Mm-hmm. You were accusing me of the mess, and in my mind, I was like, look, she just put all her mess over here on my side.
Kim, what kind of stencils do we use? We use JRV stencils. So they're manufactured here in USA, actually in Michigan by our manufacturer. We design them and it's our own company. We do have retailers. Ivy, can you drop the link to all of our stencils?
They're thick, like industrial
They
thickness.
are made for people who want to do lots of projects. Have you ever gone to the craft store and you get a stencil and you're like, well, that's not going to survive more than once? That's not what these are made for.
The first time you wash it, it rips all over the place.
Yeah, I am a maker, and when I came out with them, I want people to be able to use these like 100 times. You know, you do have to be careful. There's little detail parts; those could rip off easily. But I was like, I want people to be able to make money with these stencils if they want to, or be able to use them for a good amount of time. I don't want them to be a couple of uses and then they get ruined.
We
so
have
they
a
are
lot
nice
of people
and thick.
that use them for like teaching
Markets
classes and stuff.
So I'm just coming through with dark wax on my piece. And the back, I think what I'll do is I'll just run the sander on the back of this because it's made to go up against a wall. I don't want to have to do 3 coats of gold on the back. And there it is with the dark wax. You're welcome, Kim. You can also go to JRV Wholesale and see if you have a retailer by you, but check with the retailer, see what they carry and what they have in stock. They may not have everything or whatever, because we have a lot of different stencils.
I'm going to go set this out in the sun so it can get real good and dry, and then I think I'm going to hit it with the orbital. You won't see that. But
Corrina says she loves it. I hope you approve of your bougie little.
Now we just got to get it to her safe.
Well, that part the shop will take care of. What did Jamie do to the earlier frame? So to this frame, this is Apothecary with a dry brush of golden ticket. Sorry, the mirror is dirty. And then I did dark wax, and now it's just all French countryed up. And this was just like a typical, like probably Walmart mirror. Yeah, distributed by Walmart. Pretty boring, but the paint sticks to just about everything. And then these ones are just gold with dark wax. I'm going to heat gun this so I can wax it. Where's the heat gun?
All right, 220 grit sandpaper. Some of that purple may come back through. This was purple underneath. That's okay.
Nancy says, nice.
Now I'm going the other way, opposite direction.
Deb had those bee boxes ready to go, but those are going to have to be, I think, for Waste Not Wednesday.
Maybe tomorrow, yeah.
We've been doing lots of boxes on Waste Not Wednesday. Should we do those bee boxes?
Yeah,
they're
maybe.
big, so you can do a lot of different techniques.
So I'm just hitting the edges. I did hit the flat surfaces here because there was a little imperfection in the paint, like looked like a bad brush stroke going the direction I didn't want it to go. So the nice thing about this DIY paint, the clay-based formulas, it just powders off.
Corrina says she's right. She does truly love the finial better. Well, all's well that ends well. It makes me happy to make other people happy. Especially when I feel bad. I was like, no, that's Corrina's. Like, I knew she bought it.
a pretty good idea where she was going to use it.
Kathleen says, holy cats, I caught alive. Thank you, Caitlin, for getting my package packed well and sent quickly. The gals at the shop are amazing. It's actually Ivy on here. Ivy actually happens to be our shipping manager. You don't necessarily talk to her because she's not our customer service manager, but she is who makes sure that we have all of our shipping supplies, that the gals are shipping things the way they should on timely manner. She keeps track of the time frame.
When we run out of like consumable items like the soap, she orders that.
She's our purchasing manager.
Stocked. Oh, now my mom's calling me. Missed a call from my dad and now my mom.
Like, what are you doing?
I have to call him back.
I have to call him. We're eating Mexican food. I'm getting really hungry, so hopefully
I think I'm going to wrap it up after this.
Hopefully we're circling those wagons on these projects.
I do have the one other tote over there that I was going to decoupage, so I might get that. But that doesn't take very long to decoupage it.
I'm going to let this cure up just a little bit. I'm going to flip this over and get the mirror back in. See how messy this is on the back? Let's see if I can. I'll just sand it later. Just ignore the mess on the back. I will sand that before we ship it.
Okay. Not a super heavy distress on these. I am going to wipe it off with a paper towel just because I don't
Although I think that they got the, yeah, I definitely have to sand it because that red is from them, so it won't just wash off.
So we're talking about the DIY paint powdering. If I were doing a transfer on this portion here would be vital. Because
you have the paper towels over there?
Yeah, I do have them over here. Oh, there's a little drip. Not anymore.
Oh, we still got to decoupage that tray.
Yeah, I'm going to get to it in just a second. That won't take me long.
It just hit me, you know. I'm like, oh.
Okay, because your transfer won't stick to the dust. So if you had wanted to do the DIY paint and then you distressed and then did a transfer, you got to get all this dust off of there. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Like,
is the wax a liquid or a solid? The clear wax is a solid. The oil or the tung oil is a liquid, but I'm going to be using clear wax here in a minute.
We have used about 9 or 10 different products on you here today.
How did I get Zeb interested in DIY? I did not. You know, his mother that just called, his mother and his father are DIYers. So he came that way. Now
I came that way.
How did I get him interested in working with me? He hated his previous, I shouldn't say he hated, he disliked his previous job.
By the end, I did not love it.
He hated his previous job, and I had started this company, and I needed help. So he either had to work for me or I had to hire or work with me, and I had to hire somebody else. So he was like, let's try this out. And that's how it started over 9 years ago.
Yep. It was 9 years in April.
So it's actually something he wanted long before.
I was talking to her about it about a year before because she was keeping me up till midnight. She's like, I need you to fix this after work.
We had kids, you know. Where's the actual?
All right.
Zeb, where's the?
We're just going.
Screwdriver, the other one that fits with this set. Did you use it to take something apart?
No, it's just up over here.
Okay. I need this one because it has a little teeny tiny head on it.
It's going to bring those colors out nice and bright.
So now he's using what? The tung oil?
That's
a liquid.
This is liquid. You just rub it in. You don't want to go too crazy on the DIY paint because it will activate to some degree, but it should stay on there pretty well.
After we eat Mexican food, I'll come back. We'll sand this.
You have dark wax on this, though. You're killing me.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, not really.
I totally use dark wax on that.
I got to get a different rag. I'm like, why is that getting dark smears?
I don't know why you didn't know that.
Oh, we're out. Paper towel it is. This is thick enough. You will occasionally get. Is
there a towel? Nope. I thought maybe there might be one hanging over there.
For the sake of time, paper towel. But that's just probably like a little teaspoon, not even a tablespoon.
If you're going to be a thrift flipper, I suggest getting one of these little kits. You can pick them up on Amazon or Harbor Freight, and they've got all the little teeny tiny bits because a regular screwdriver ain't going to work for these screws. And inevitably,
they're just good to have around for like little clocks and stuff around the house anyway.
Yeah, you know, I changed my mind. I think I'm just going to put gold on this because I feel like
it'd be too much to
it's going to
sand
be
it.
a pain in the bum. So I'm just going to put gold on the frame. This middle part is fine.
All right, look how shiny that is. It will lose some of that sheen. It dries matte, but you can polish it if you want. But look at the vibrancy of the color on there and a little bit of distress. Let me see if I can get it to focus. So it doesn't look like I just did it. And here's the difference. You see before the oil, after the oil, there's so much brighter. Brings that color right back.
Hey, Anne, she's late to the show. Well, you still got some decoupaging. That's coming up next. I'm finishing up these projects, and then Zeb's going to be decoupaging, and then I think we can show everything that we've done. Have we been on a few hours? I think we have.
We're working on almost 2.
So that's probably the longest.
It's been a good palooza.
Yeah. Got a lot of things
Paintapalooza.
done. And I think we got everything done that needed to be done, that had to be shipped, and a few things that we can sell.
Okay.
You know what? I'm just going to paint the whole thing.
The nice thing about this is you can really see on this DIY paint if you missed a spot, because it really soaks this up.
And I was like, oh, I'm just going to paint one part of it. No, I'm going to paint the whole thing gold, and I'm going to have to do a few coats. It's fine. It'll look better than it did. This is going up against the wall, so it doesn't really matter, but just in case somebody sets it up somewhere, I don't want it to be a hot mess. Although this was white first, so I don't know how good a coverage I'm going to get.
So these will probably, I titled this, I can't ever actually remember. Maybe it was yesterday's video, Thrifting for a Living.
Flipping Trash to Treasure for Profit, Paintapalooza.
There you go.
That's a lot of words.
For profit. Sometimes you got to use all 100 characters in a title like that. All that to say, hopefully this gives you guys some ideas on some projects you want to do, or if you're into flipping and refinishing and selling it, helps you out a little bit with some workflow thoughts and maybe some color schemes.
Nancy's been cleaning her house and just taking us with her. We're keeping her company.
Nice. Because that's ultimately why we share the videos.
I would rather paint than clean any day. Somebody asked what our favorite kind of project is. I just like to, I can't say that there's something I want to do over and over again, because I like to do a variety of things. And that's why I love what we do, because like no 2 days, we do have a schedule, you know, like a process on how we get all of our videos out, but no 2 days are ever the same. Every day of the week, we're doing something different.
Fun little story for you. Jamie had a little prize for all her primary kids that she teaches the music to. And we have a freeze dryer. So we freeze dried a bunch of Skittles and we had to get them in these little baggies. This is all her idea, right? Her project. Well, we had to do about 60 of the baggies. We're about baggie number 38. And she's checking out on me. Like, we've done too many of these the same way. And it's only been like maybe 10 or 15 minutes in. Bored. But she was like missing the funnel. And it was because we had a whole assembly line process. Redrick was taping the bags up and I was filling the bags and Jamie was dumping the Skittles into the funnel. But about bag 38 to 40, we had 20 to go. She was checking out. So you gotta switch it up on her. You can't do the same thing over and over all day long.
It's a mental workout when I have to do something like when I was installing the floors or whatever. I have to like really be dedicated. All right. That's covered enough. Somebody said I could use brown paper. I could, but there's like hooks on the back, and all I was doing is just trying to make it look a little neater, and it does. So that's a win-win on my part.
Okay. Can
Tell us
you?
freeze drying does to Skittles. It just makes them crunchy.
Yeah, it takes all the moisture out of them. It kind of explodes them because of the pressure from the vacuum. So all the insides come outside and they're like these little exploded crunchiness that taste like Skittles.
I don't like to have a bunch of unfinished projects. So even though I do have, like, I get bored, I will power through and do what I need to do. I also like, if I am cleaning, I like to clean like this main area because I can do a bunch of different things. Like I'll do this, then I'll go over there, do that. And then eventually in like half an hour, 45 minutes, I've got the whole thing picked up. And I do not like a messy house. I don't mind if it's not perfect because I'm not a perfectionist, but I feel like everybody is calmer when things aren't picked up, and it just makes for a happier house.
Okay, we're about done wiping this in.
I think I'm gonna paint it.
My towel's on its way out. I'm gonna have to wipe it again. I'm getting little fuzzies.
I'm gonna paint it before I put the little doohickeys on it.
Missed a whole side here.
I don't know that that's the official word, doohickey. Although the other one's got them painted, so maybe I'll put them on.
Okay, I'm gonna put this outside so it can start to dry up while we wait, and then wash my hands real quick and do some decoupage.
All right. Well, by the time you're done with that, I should be done getting this all pulled together. The video that we're doing for Thursday that we're finishing up today, that may actually get finished up tomorrow after Waste Not Wednesday. That's all right. That's why we always start on Tuesday with the project that's the second half of the Thursday video. So it gives us time. It's less stress. So if we don't get that done complete all the way today, we can finish it up tomorrow. We are going to be doing more mystery boxes. Those are really popular. I don't know how many. It depends on what I find. But in Thursday's video, you'll see us pulling that together, putting the sign up, and then whatever else. Maybe we'll paint something, get the spray gun out.
Okay.
We actually do need to do those nightstands for Redrick.
Oh,
I'm just going to paint him anvil. I feel like my kids get overwhelmed with clutter. I'm not a clutter bug with my kids' stuff either. One of the things I really try to, I lost a screw somewhere. One of the things I really try to help my kids learn is that everything you own, you have to maintain. So my kids and also will go through their stuff, and I don't make them get rid of everything. I'm not that mom, but they don't have to maintain as much stuff if they don't hold on to things as much. So they're all pretty good at de-junking when necessary. And they don't have to maintain a lot, and it's just a lot calmer for them.
Like if it's precious to them, like their prized frog mug that they made in pottery, they can keep that. I mean, look at this thing.
Hey, Redrick gave me that for Mother's Day.
Who wouldn't want to keep this?
Redrick made that for me.
This isn't even a frog mug. This is Redrick's mug this year. He'll probably have another one next year.
And it's in my cupboard. And I have space to display it because I don't.
You know, I'm just proud it holds water and the glazing's consistent.
What is a bee box? A box for
like beekeeping.
And beekeeping. Yeah. Well, that is the world's.
My hands are all greasy. Even after washing them, they're all soft from that oil.
Well, the good news is the rest of these hold this in place. So if I never find that screw, it'll probably be okay.
Did it drop on the floor?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for. I don't see it.
Okay, so I left the inside of this unpainted. I think I'm going to do a heavy distress on the white lip and then just decoupage up top. Let's see if these, I didn't even check to see if these papers were wide enough for this.
If this were the front, I would have put it down a coat of DIY paint on it, but this is the back. And I'm just kind of painting to neaten it up.
Oh my goodness, we won one.
Does it work?
Mm-hmm.
Is it tall enough?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully that spot I used is clean, so we're not getting that all over the front of the paper.
So we're just doing 3 thin coats on the back. Heat gunning it in between. And that's going to be enough to make me happy. Thanks, Corrina. I love today's video too. It's just been like hanging out with friends. All right, as soon as Zeb's done with that, I think we'll probably be done.
I may only show you one side. You'll get the vibe.
So what are you doing? Oh, you're decoupaging the sides of the tray.
Yep.
Why did I think you were doing the inside?
I don't know, because I didn't paint the inside.
I know. I thought that was weird.
I did sand it, but I think that's just because I want it to be aged. I might just go in and do the wax. Yeah, the tongue oil or something on everything in there.
Leslie, when I eat candy, it's mostly chocolate too. Zeb is a sweet guy, not a chocolate guy.
like chocolate, but don't give me anything dark. Like it needs to be like basically like a white chocolate or like really sweet milk chocolate. I do love it.
I feel like you like chocolate more now than you did when we first, like I rubbed off on you over the years. Like you eat spicier food, you eat more chocolate than you used to. You don't really eat bologna anymore.
Yeah. I think basically what we've established is I'll pretty much eat anything.
All right, 3 coats. Back is neater.
I think I'm going to come back up close up front here, guys. Show you how this happens. So decoupage is really easy. It's not a lot of craziness to it. So we've got, this is the liquid patina, and it's the version of it is the crystal clear chandelier.
Sorry to interrupt. Did I paint the bottom? I did paint the bottom of that toe, huh? Okay, never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
This is a decoupage gel or top coat. However, it dries more matte than the big top. The big top is like a really great sealer, especially for the tops of dressers, nightstands, tables. We've used it in all those applications. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of line it up here and pull it over before I press it down. Okay. Nice and firm on that, pressing it good and hard. One side done. Now you do want to come back over, and this is a rice paper. It's not like a tissue paper. You don't want to necessarily overwork it. Like don't be pressing hard, but you need to get enough on here that it soaks through to the back side and saturates the paper. Otherwise, you might have some adhesion problems. So I'm about 2 strokes. We'll call that 2.5, 3. I've got enough on there. It's starting to look cloudy on me here. I've lost some of the vibrancy of those colors, and I'm done. Like I'll let that dry. Question is, should we put it outside and let it dry real quick and then?
Well, what else do you have to do is the problem. I don't think we have anything else.
I was going to do the other sides. So I'm going to do all the sides on here. If I have anything that gets over the lip or the edge, I'll just take sandpaper and pull that off. Because what can happen is that can catch on things and you will have it start to lift sometimes or tear.
I was wanting to show them the finished
Okay.
project. So I'm just tidying up so that way we can put them down here and then we're not getting different colors on it.
All right. I'm going to go put this outside in the sun
Okay.
then. Sometimes the wind, as it dries it, if it's too fast, it'll blow it around, but we'll see.
We get all of our finished projects. Heat gun this real quick. Just because this was my most recent one. I don't want it to be sticking to the counter.
I forgot to distress this.
Oh, okay. And then we need to wax that.
Yeah. Do you have clear wax out? I'll just clear wax.
I've just kind of scooted everything over there to pull all the things that are finished. You should have enough workspace to finish that.
So this is not quite dry yet. It's a little splotchy in areas. It's going to take that probably a full 24 hours to dry, and then up to 30 days on your wax and oil products to fully cure. And that's the same with paint. Like it can take paint. If you're in a humid area, it can take paint 30 days to cure up.
Yeah, we joke that Renee is adopted because she doesn't like chocolate, and we all love chocolate. She's also the only natural blonde. So we've done a lot of apothecary gold and white today.
Yep. Haven't done apothecary in a long time, and then it was the color of the day.
It was a color du jour. It's all right. We also did plum pudding and the barn quilt. We'll get that over here for you guys to see.
Oh yeah, those handles.
Yes, we did rolling pins too.
So if you notice, I'm distressing this one same as I did that one, going both directions. It really kind of brings, it flattens out the brush strokes, but it also brings the distressing out so that it doesn't look like you just streakied it.
You got to be careful though. You don't want to like, I don't know, there's a fine line between going both directions and
well, that's why we use the high grits, like 220, 320.
That's really soft. You don't want to make it look streaky. So we got two other colors here. We've got plum pudding and the barn quilt. Oops, we got dark again. Is it because I feel like it's right here because of this? We'll fix the camera before we're all finished. All right, that's done. That's done. You just need me to go pull out. I don't think we're gonna get that tote all the way finished. We can just show them what this looks like and clear wax it afterwards.
Yeah.
That was that Merry Christmas tote situation.
Yeah. The Merry Christmas. Was it Merry Christmas or did it say
Merry? I think it just said Merry.
Yeah, just Merry on it, but it wasn't bad. Just kind of dark and dated and wrong time of year. It's summertime. Christmas will be here soon enough. We're like 6 months and 14 days out. All right, I think that's probably dry enough. We can show them. I'm not going to be able to sand this because it's probably still wet, but you guys will be able to get the picture of what it looks like. Oh, you brought it in. I was just looking for that.
It's just
It's darkened up now that it's...
okay. You want to give them a little pan?
Oh, and you got the rolling pins out?
I got everything.
And we got a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, well, we've been live for a couple hours.
Usually when we're not live, we'll just leave it, let it dry, come back to it. All right.
Lunchbox Lay is getting a subscription box. That's awesome. You will be excited about this month's because of the stencil and all the fun stuff in it. All right, guys. Apothecary, White Swan, Golden Digit, Clear Wax, Dark Wax, Plum Pudding, Barn Quilt, New Medium Rice Paper, Liquid Patina, and tongue oil. I think that's all the products. And then we use the stencil from this craft kit, but you can also find other stencils on JamieRayVintage.com. We have all the JRV stencils. And then I believe all of these items, except for this tote that Zeb needs to finish up, and the rolling pins and one of these mirrors, it was red before, is still available on the website. Everything else is sold. We will have some more mystery boxes soon. So stay tuned to all the social medias and we will post that when those are up. And tomorrow we'll be live again.
They've been going fast, and some people were upset.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
We're going. So.
We're doing our best to get more mystery boxes. Next, tomorrow we'll have Waste Not Wednesday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So We'll see ya. Bye, you guys.
Have a great afternoon. Go be productive.